All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Season 6 of the ALTTPR League. We have an open league matchup between the Long Shots, represented by Dr. Earworm and Timp, and Buttersword Knights, represented by Dylan Lee and Guy Average. This is Week 1 co-op, all dungeons. They share the information. Just your kind of like your typical open team, except you got to do all the dungeons. I am VX, joined by doctorearworm. Man, how are you doing?
Hello, I am doing great. Yeah, we've got a worm in the chat booth, and we've got a worm in the race. I hope that does not confuse anybody watching today. So Dr. Earworm on the long shots. Oh, they're getting started here. His teammate is Timp. They're returning from last season, and they actually made the playoffs last year. Meanwhile, on your right side, Buttersword Knights, Dylan Lee and Guy Average, new to the league, and they came out of the gate hot. They won their first matchup against these two runners. So, you know, throwing down, saying we're here. We're here to have fun. We're here to play.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's just, even in the open league, it's just so competitive. There's so many good teams there. Whether or not you're experienced or you're new.
Yeah, anybody can win any day. And the fun part about co-op is that you get to split up the checks. So, I don't want to go do this disgusting catfish check. Why don't you do it, or something like that?
Yeah, and these top runners are probably, they're saying, okay, I got a mushroom. I'll take care of that. Don't worry about it unless it's got something.
Yeah, that is one of those kind of gross side things. And bless these runners for having the top two runners do the same thing and the bottom two runners do the same thing, so we don't get cross-eyed. But we did see a mushroom and cape there in the Uncle and Secret Passage chest, or the Secret chest, not Secret, Secret Passage. I guess that's Secret Passage. It's not the secret room in Back of Escape. Hearts on the Ruby Crab today. Oh, and looks like we're going to set up for a Houlihan here from Dr. Earworm.
He might just go turn on the mushroom.
Oh, right. This is a kind of a quick way if you just want to start over there at the sanctuary. And we got that $100 in the Lost Woods drop down, so don't need to Houlihan for money. We can just have these guys buy some bombs in Kakariko. But I see Dylan has gotten lucky with the 50-50 bushes on the way to Kakariko. It's going in with one bomb.
Yeah, only one though. Okay, mushroom did not pay out. I didn't see what that was in the library.
Oh, I missed it too. Be able to catch it on the restream. I don't know how I feel about not save scumming that mushroom though. I know hearts are at a premium here in this mode, but I think you get an early mushroom and it's not anything. I think you just immediately restart your game.
Yeah, that's
set up a fake powder later, and it was nothing in the library, by the way.
Yeah, Cac's got plenty of bombs for us actually, and a bottle.
Those are the two things you want to see show up. Maybe the third thing is a flute, but yeah, Dr. Earworm sticking to this Houlihan play here. And of course, we've got the Buttersword Knights sort of doing a double duty Kakariko here. One person going from the north, one person coming from the south, whereas the long shots are splitting up and doing different checks if they can, as we see that glove in the well. Oh, okay. There's another glove in the well.
Okay, game.
Okay, we see why Doc wanted some money, because he was planning to get bombs and go to Saha's closet. And Guy Average probably having a laugh on his side, going to tell his teammate Dylan to go right into the well and get those two chests on the right.
Yeah. I don't think we've gotten a map check from anybody yet. But Dr. Earworm heading to Saha. Turtle Rock is our green pendant today. In the back we get a piece of heart. Powder. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that mushroom now.
Yeah, that is a that is something that the long shots are going to be happy to see, even though it's only 4 minutes and 20 seconds into the race. They're glad that showed up. And Doc is actually
here's the map check. I caught Penn and Eastern, and I think the other two are regular crystals.
I will trust you on that because I actually was not paying attention. I was kind of watching Doc go into Eastern Palace here, so we're going to get super early Eastern. Meanwhile, Buttersword Knights, Guy Average is doing the South Shore checks. That's kind of the fun of the chaos of these modes, that you just have everybody, even the two runners who are only focused on what they're doing. Sometimes it's a bit chaotic. Get a little blue mail there in the dam. That's always nice to have, especially in a seed where you don't open up as many chests as you normally would.
Yeah. Doesn't help. The mail doesn't help you against those cacti.
No, do those do 1 heart, or is that half?
Yeah, that's 1 heart.
Just like the spikes. Okay, and Gerudo Man coming in hot too.
Only now is the powder. Looks like he's going to head into Eastern Palace.
Oh, that Octorok just not played nice, going right in Timp's way.
Apparently found a lamp in Eastern. I did not catch that.
Of course, that's where it should go, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Big Key Chest and the boss will both have items. Timp having some issues with these mini mold worms.
Yeah, they could be a little persnickety. Okay. And this one ought to do it.
There we go.
We'll see how Guy Average does.
I hope they don't die. Oh boy. There's a single arrow.
Whoa, that was really close on Guy Average's side there.
And that really didn't look like anything was really in Mini Mold Worm Cave. One of our trackers, Shasta, saying that we had Penn and Eastern and Harrow's a red crystal.
Oh no, Doc.
Oh.
Those anti-fairies do 1 heart even if you're on blue mail or red mail.
Yeah, and he's going back.
Yeah, he got the lamp though, which opens up just a couple things on the mountain. But I think if you're here, it's worth going all the way, especially with the lamp showing up. It's worth spending the time to get back up there. And we've got Buttersword Knights in tandem here, going up to Ice Rod Cave, both at the same time. One has Zora money, the other does not.
Oh yeah, that's quite a difference. Yeah, usually a lot of times you get one player that has all the money and the others like doesn't.
But Tim beats them both there and finds 10 sticks. Looks like they're both going to go in, just assuming it's something. I would imagine Guy Average here with his $700 is going to continue on to the Zora checks.
Yeah. Let's see what Temp's going to do. Maybe head up the mountain?
That makes a lot of sense for him. Seed has been pretty scarce with things, I would say. All the items just sort of lead to other items, not necessarily to actual progression. We know we don't have a weapon, we don't have a mobility in the flute, or maybe a hook shot.
Okay, Doc's got to... Okay, should be fine. Just get rid of the Igor just to be safe. There's a sword. Completely missed the back of escape.
Well, I'm sure he's glad he went for that. Yeah, has anybody done? Oh, yeah, someone just did escape here. and it was not anything from I saw on Dylan Lee's side.
I think Doc's gonna. Oh wait, he's got to get the gloves first.
Is Dylan about to do 7 heart front of escape? That's pretty spicy. If you know what you're doing, it's not.
You mean 7 bomb?
7 bomb is what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, bomb escape not the easiest of things to do.
Does the powder do anything to these guards? Maybe turn them into a blob or something?
I think so. It should. Oh, temp. All right, I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I think playing it easy here on Dylan Lee's side is the way to go, just to make sure you don't lose any of your bombs. Don't call them hearts. And we see a hook shot there on the floating island, or excuse me, the actual Hylia island was our hook shot today. So we're going to need Dark World access and the mirror and the flippers to get that.
Mm-hmm.
And Guy Average doing an above average job of avoiding those fireballs from the
You don't want to get hit and fake flipper. Oh, well, yeah, he couldn't get the chests anyways.
Yeah, you don't want to get hit. It'll immediately basically kill you, but not immediately. It'll push you.
Force you to save and quit pretty much.
Yeah. And right, we can't get into the waterfall at this point.
Oh, half magic was in the macro escape. You got a flute out of the boomerang chest.
Yeah, that's nice to have. I think I saw the map in the back of escape as well, and Dylan Lee does not have a key, a small key from one of the chests. So the small key is almost definitely there in Dark Cross.
Mm-hmm.
The Sanctuary was also not a key. Let's see if the runners realize that. Dylan has killed the green guard, so won't have a easy way to death warp anyway, and that is actually a good thing. Because the small key can't be in this Zelda cell for logical reasons. And it looks like the long shots won't be too far behind getting that flute. So we do have a cape, we have a lamp, we have a sword. I don't think there's really much else to check.
Yeah, it's looking like we're going to be... of course, we have to do Aga Tower anyways, but it looks like we're going to have to do it for Dark World access.
Yeah, and it feels kind of bad without the Moon Pearl, but I think between these teams, eventually they'll have done all the checks and just know that something is on the pyramid that leads to that Moon Pearl, be it the Moon Pearl or maybe
boots.
Boots or
I don't know
shovel or something like that.
Yeah, shovel, perhaps. Because the flute doesn't open up anything right now.
Maybe it's a hammer, maybe it's a mirror. There's a lot of things that could open up a few checks, but thankfully they have the flute, or they'll be getting it soon if you're the long shots. Yeah, so it looks like both these teams a little out of practice with the bomb escape, because standard is not a mode in this year's league. So no one has been practicing their 10 bomb Uncle Bomb escape sequence yet. But thankfully, the first 2 runners on both sides were able to get through there and not run out of bombs. We're able to get all the checks.
And Doc counting his chests. Knows that the map was in that last chest.
Oh, Guy Average actually out of bombs, but I think his teammate's been here. He knows it's just a flute, and that's all he needs. So
yeah, I can get out of here.
And here goes Doc. I'm sure this is to get that flute and...
Yeah, probably do Aga.
They're going to do Aga at this point. He's got the sword and the cape. No one else has the sword yet. I thought I saw one of the Butter Sword Knights in Eastern, but maybe they didn't go that far.
I think Dylan was the first one in.
Okay. He's checking all the chests, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And Tim forgetting if you activate the flute and then maybe quick swap to and from the flute, or from and to the flute, it'll actually let you get the bird a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little tip if you're just starting out. Just after you do that, do a quick swap. A quick swap. That's hard to say.
Yeah, alright, knocking it to the Death Warp and then off to Aga.
Yeah, the Buttersword Knight's going to have a little bit faster time getting to Eastern.
Oh,
oh no!
Oh, right, we had a fairy in the bottle.
Yeah, I think he went out of his way to get the bottle when he was in Kakariko getting the mitts. I was a little surprised that he got that.
And it was our first
fairy.
Yeah. Probably wanted it for safety, maybe.
Oh, yeah. If you tell me there's a fairy, if you're my teammate, you tell me there's a fairy, I'm almost certainly going to get it. It was in Blind's hut, so it was a little bit of a time investment, and there are 4 bottles, but it's co-op. It's a little bit dangerous and scary sometimes, so I really don't fault anyone for getting it. I mean, look at these runners. Only 2 of them have 4 hearts. The rest are still on 3. And Dylan does get through the first time here. Gets that sword and says, "Oh, I know what that means."
Yep.
Doc showing us why ball and chain guard sucks, because even with the spins, it's fighter sword damage only. So 8 spins. Well, I guess he had 4 double spins on there, but it would be 8 slashes or 4 double spins.
Yeah.
Ball and chain guard has weird damage table.
How bad does this game stink so far? Well, it's looking like moon pearls on the pyramid.
Yeah, I believe we have checked everything we possibly can. I saw someone do hobo without the flippers. We saw a hook shot that's behind the mirror, so we don't even have Dark World access or the mirror to get that. And we don't have boots. We don't have a hammer. Oh, Dylan take a death.
At least he's got the fairy, yeah. And yeah, even once we get that moon pearl, the only thing we can do in the Dark World is like catfish and pod.
Is Tim?
We have no hammer, no hook shot.
Oh, I forgot the lamp was here in Eastern. I was going to say that's a little bit detour for Tim, but yeah, that makes sense to get that lamp.
Yeah, Dark Agon, 4 hearts, and Blue Mail and Fighter Sword. Not exactly the best idea.
So it looks like Doc is going to be the first one to Dark World. Dylan slightly in second. And Guy, Average, and Timp going to be pretty much neck and neck. They're just a couple screens apart at this point. And of course, this is all dungeons, so it doesn't really matter who's ahead at 18 minutes. Whoever finishes first, and they're going to combine the times or take the average. It's really the same calculation with the 2 teammates. So both teammates have to finish, defeat Ganon, and then we'll find out the winner at that point. Of course, the nice thing about co-op is whenever your teammate finds the boots, you've got boots too, right? You get to to go get those boots.
Which I don't, the ball and chain guard's kind of split up.
Yeah, with the cape, if you activate the cape and slash in the sword, you can not really drain the magic. So that might be a good strat if you get the ball and chain guard pinned up, because the ball and chain guard like has a weird damage table, and also the ball and chain has a weird hitbox on you. So sometimes you think you're in the clear and it just hits you for no reason. And cape will make you invincible. But I wouldn't wish fighter sword Agatower on anybody. So these runners are just doing a great job of getting through it anyway.
Yeah, and you were never intended to do Agatower with fighter sword in the vanilla game, so it is a little more of a challenge.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh yeah, long shots haven't gone to Uncle yet. Or no.
Oh, they definitely went there.
Oh yeah, okay. Doc did get the most. I think it was just knows it wasn't tracked.
A little bit of a miscommunication on which portion had the mushroom and which one had the cape, because that was the cape in the chest. Although having the mushroom, if you're going to go get a bottle at some point, it was a piece of heart. So those are always at a premium in this mode. And there's that mirror.
And then he's saving quit, so he's going to be right back on the pyramid.
Yeah, needs a mirror first. We've all done that, I bet. And now he's going to tell his teammate, make sure you mirror. So what does that open up for us? Well, why didn't he just flute right away? Why did he save and quit? Because we're going to go to the mire area or the mountain.
Yeah.
Oh, he has
to activate it, yeah.
Right, he's the one runner who did the flute and escape into Agatower as opposed to everyone else. So he's actually not as far as ahead of everybody else as it seems, I guess. All right, Tim. Got to be a little bit lower than those crazy guys who run at you. That's the second hardest room in Castle Tower, I guess. Ball and chain guard, obviously the hardest room in Castle Tower.
All right, and Nock's gonna check checkerboard cave. Or see what's the hard part. You gotta bunny walk past this murder dactyl, but at least you have the mirror to help dodge it. It's Ether needed to open Mire. Let's see if he super bunnies. Okay, not yet at least.
Yeah, he plays a lot of entrance modes, so wouldn't be surprised to see him do that. We also have Desert Palace. The first 5 parts are just available to us at this point, so Moon Pearl could easily be in there as opposed to this checkerboard here.
And hair is available as well.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think, who was it? Doc had a little counter on his screen that we can't really see here that said how many seeds since the meme, and I think he has to reset that to 0 now. Checkerboard had our Moon Pearl today. That is a really tricky one that a lot of new people will kind of forget about, the fact that exists. So I know Doc and Tim have played a while. I'm not really sure about Dylan and Guyaverage, but I'm just glad for them that they have someone in their head that they can bounce ideas off of. Where do you think this could be? So we'll see if that trips them up or not. I wouldn't suspect it would. When you get two brains are better than one, right?
You're right. I like Dylan's bunny sprite here. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Oh, another save and quit with the mirror. You don't think about it. It's like, oh, here's my item. I'm going to save and quit. And okay, we are hard boots locked on a desert.
Not surprising.
Dylan choosing to go to Hera first.
Yeah, I would say that's like the more obvious play, because you think about things that you can do in the light world. You're not really thinking about things you can do in the dark world when you don't have the moon pearl. So we'll see if anything is up here, but meanwhile Doc's not going to be too far behind. I mean, we can now go into like Skull Woods and Village of Outcasts and all that with the mitts and the mirror. So a little surprised Doc is going here instead of the things that have more items in them. But we know where the hookshot is, so that's kind of a information you have when you're deciding with your partner where to route.
I was remembering to mirror. Red potion bottle is our first item in Hera.
And we got the big key, so at least we don't have to do the slow basement. Tip's going to mirror bonk here.
Yeah. Alright, that was both items in Hera, so we don't have to worry about the basement.
The seed did bless us with something nice. It wasn't all bad.
And because mirror bonked twice. Alright, this should be fine.
It's honestly not something that comes up a lot. You're usually mirroring at the top of the pyramid when you're going to Aga Tower or something like that. So. Oh no, center hold.
Yeah, he did it with the spin attack, knocked him all into it.
Yeah, this is a great place also to have the cape, because then Moldorm can't hit you when you're invisible. And it's kind of scaring me that Dylan's on mirror. I would be quick swapping away from that well before this fight, just in case something happens. Just in case I accidentally press Y. And we get aggro Moldorm, of course, because we've got Fighter Sword, nothing better to hit him with. And Guyaverage is our first runner into sort of Dark World proper here. Village of Outcasts. We'll go all the way to Hype Cave with this. All right, is anyone going to use the cape or just run away?
Oh, that's Dylan's second fall and he's leaving. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to get anything for beating it other than just a red crystal. It is a red crystal, though.
Yeah, you said we did get 2 items out of there. So, no immediate item that could be gotten from going there. Dylan still has to get his Moon Pearl. And then we could also, take a small dip into Odd, since we've beaten Aga Tower. We have access to East Dark World.
Yeah. Average in Thieves Town with only half a heart right now.
And we'll have to see how many items we get, because do we do the
I have not been counting.
Yeah, I said we, and then we're definitely gonna pass that. We're gonna delegate that to our trackers.
Hey, that's at least one. That Master Sword.
Yeah, and no small key. Shoutouts to Lady Lord Linda and to Shasta today for doing tracking. Not hard to watch, or excuse me, not easy to watch multiple screens at the same time. I believe they've split it up left and right, but still hard to watch two people doing always different things in this mode. It's not like you're ever going to have them all in the same place. And of course, Yoinker's wife for restreaming us today. We've got the A team here today.
There's our boots and the Skullwoods map chest.
All right, you love to see those.
Gibdo's cooperating on Doc's side there.
So the long shots are the first ones with boots. Both runners get boots before either of the Butter Sword Knights do. It looks like Dylan is doing these Village of Outcast overworld checks. I thought Guy Average would have done them first, looking for boots or hammer before Thieves Town, but I guess they split them up that way. And Timp is walking somewhere. And there was another sword here in Thieves Town. I think that is where Dylan is going to get the big key and the sword before going on to other things.
Okay, well, small key is in the big chest. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we just got a little menu there to double check how many items. But yeah, if you've opened up all the chests and you don't have the small key is definitely in the big chest because the small key cannot be on blind. So we didn't have to count items. We just had to look up at the HUD right there and notice that it said 0. And that's a fancy red cane there on the dig game after some 17 or so digs.
Okay, Tim's going into Village of Outcast now.
Yeah, they're splitting up. North Dark World, South Dark World. I like it. Both waiting for the bow. And maybe one of them finds the flippers so they can get the hook shot off of Hylia Highland. Looks like Guy Average was going back into Thieves. Oh no, Guy Average beat Thieves Town there. Okay, but Dylan is following his teammate there. There wasn't anything that I saw. Nothing worth grabbing in Thieves Town.
Oh, another sword in King's Tomb.
There we go. I believe both the long shots have skipped out on Thieves Town entirely at this point, which kind of makes sense without the hammer. You don't want to isolate that check, although they don't know that the hammer is not required to full clear that dungeon at this point. Because the small key to Thieves Town was in the big chest. And with flute and bits, it's so fast. And now they have boots. It's so fast to get back there. Why is Doc kern jumping? Just save and quit. You would be at the top of the pyramid. You just did that. Okay. Well, he's got it. I guess this is a little faster to catfish, isn't it? Timp is leaving the Dark World?
Well, he's concentrating on the purple chest.
Yeah, but he was at Cave 45. He could have just gone back in. Now he's going to not be able to check Hype Cave.
Yeah, I lost the portal.
Hammer. He's lost the portal.
Card not letting him go.
And did the Buttersword Knights skip Dig Game just because maybe they got the frog first?
He's got the purple chest, yeah.
But they don't have a red cane. So we'll see if that is a tricky spot for them. And at least Guy Average's portal is in the light world, so if he wants to go back, he can go into the dark world from here. But skipping on Hype Cave, I think, was an oopsie by Temp. Maybe got distracted by this knowledge of a tempered sword here. Looks like Doc is actually going to go clean that up for him. Oh, sorry, he's gonna turn in the powder. Without hammer, this is the way to turn in powder.
Yeah, magic bat without the hammer is not because you can't save your portal.
Yeah, with flute and boots, it's fine. And then your teammate has already done all the other things here, so it's not as bad as it seems in a regular mode. So that could be the hammer, but today it's not. It is $300.
Buttersword Knights have not been to Skull Woods where the boots are. Guy Average, this might be a pod play.
Yeah, it looks like it. Where do you fall on the checking Skull Woods without Fire Rod camp? Because
do it. Maybe unless it's a pendant. Might put it off.
Yeah, I mean,
boots.
What is it today? Is it a crystal?
I don't know. We still haven't gotten a map check.
Yeah, it's a little surprising. I'd like to know early in my co-op what modes, or excuse me, just in all dungeons, but in co-op, we can kind of talk it out. What items could possibly be in Gannet's Tower? Because, if, you could have a medallion for Eternal Rock or Mire. You could have the Fire Rod, theoretically, be in Gannet's Tower. So maybe we've done the map check and I just haven't caught them, but I'd like to know, what items do we need for GT mode and what items do we need for Go mode? But I'm definitely with you on checking Skull Woods, especially without the hammer, and especially in a co-op when it's like, now you have two runners who went into that very convenient portal and two runners who didn't check Skull Woods. So when are you going to do it? As we get a Saha thing, a Saha check. Dylan must have done this, but there's just something nice. Yeah, that powder's there. Powder's very useful in a co-op mode where you are usually on low hearts. I will say, though, that Mothula, since it cannot have a small key, often has an item or the big key leading to an item. So I can see runners not wanting to do Skull Woods unless you have the Fire Rod. But
yeah, and the second item is in the back today.
Right. But the first item, super OP. It's the boots today.
And in co-op, every second matters.
Yeah, we're approaching about 10 minutes now that maybe not exactly 10, but the long shots have had the boots for a significant amount of time at this point. And our first chest in pod is a small key, so we can continue on without the bow. And the third member of the long shots, Tyler Salt, is in chat today saying that they're not attached to doing map checks in all dungeons. I get it. Sometimes it's nice to know what your red crystals are, or what your 5, 6 crystals, what your pendants are, what your green pendant is. Second check in pod was a big key. Here's the small key. Not quite bow locked yet.
No, and we did get our last sword from Landmos.
Oh, very nice.
See, we did see a big key in one of these chests. So we're just going to go to the back, not wanting to risk potentially getting key locked. In case big key chest isn't a key.
If you're not able to mimic clip and get your other keys, I think this is 100% the right call. Or just, even if you can mimic clip, you just don't want to do it, or do the potion camera unlock, just let me go see what's high here. I'm going to find out how many keys there are. I'm going to get more knowledge about the dungeon. And Guy Average already has the big key, so he knows he can beat all the things in the back. He can open up all the chests. That was one key.
One key and 2 items.
So I think you would open this and hope it's a key.
I don't know. If you know Hammer Yump, yeah, but I don't know if Guy Average does.
So there's definitely not going to be a key in the pod maze here, but we could get bow or hammer or something very nice like that. Instead, it's garbage. It looks like we already got map and compass.
Yeah.
And it looks like Temp is following Doc into Thieves Town. You got boots. You know that it's easy to beat this now. And you know that you're not isolating anything, so this is nice. But that was the flippers. In the big chest of pod. That's very interesting. And if you've been paying attention, you will remember that the flippers will lead us to that hook shot.
Nice book and hype cave. And there's a bow. I'll give that a 6 out of 10 hype.
Yeah, if that's the only bow and book leads to something, I'll upgrade it to like 8. So one thing I'm actually surprised at is that the long shots, I'm not even sure if they know where the hook shot is, but they did not try with the boots to set up a water walk and get the hook shot. That kind of leads me to believe they don't know where it is, because I think at least one of them will be able to set that up. It's a little of a bit of a niche trick you do with the boots, and it takes a lot of time, but it is, with Specky Clip newly allowed, that would let them do swamp as soon as they found the flippers instead of waiting for hammer. Although they don't really know where the flippers are, so now that I'm talking about it, I'm saying it doesn't really make a lot of sense to spend that time. Although it opens up Dark Death Mountain for them.
Well, here's the map check. Misery Mire is our last pendant, and Ice Palace is our other red crystal.
So red crystals at Tower of Hera and Ice Palace. Okay. Well, one of those needs the hammer, so we're not going to have the hammer in Pyramid Fairy today.
We could absolutely have our required medallions in GT today.
Yeah, and I would say cane, but long shots have found that cane. Although it's not tracked on Doc's side, and he was just at Hype Cave. I wondered if he forgot to grab it. He does have the bow, so we'll get to see Bowlock side of pod. We'll get to see where that 4th and 5th key is, or are. Is one of them in the Harmless Hellway today? Meanwhile, Guy Average over on Paradox Cave going to do all the mountain stuff. So far, Paradox 2 and Paradox 5, not anything. 2 more chances. Still nothing, completely empty.
Unless you like red boomerang more than blue boomerang. Tyler, it's all dungeons. We're gonna need that cane.
Bollock side has 1 small key and 2 small keys. I guess that means the back's bow-locked.
Unless, yeah, if Harmless Hellway's got, unless, well, let me think. If Harmless Hellway's got the last key, then yeah.
I don't think it... Oh, we haven't opened up the vanilla big key chest yet.
No, we've not. Welcome, Raiders from Zelga's stream. Glad to have you here. We have a league match here where we had to... Oh, it's a fire rod. We had to get the mirror up Pyramid Fairy or Pyramid Ledge to get the Moon Pearl out of Checkerboard Cave.
Yeah, we're still looking for the hammer. The flippers, which are in Pod Big Chest, lead to the hook shot on Hylia Island. That's how Guy Average is over on the mountain, and no one else has been there yet. We're still looking for a hammer. We just found the fire rod. That is one thing that the Buttersword Knights were not able to get when they were just in here. They also have not been to Skull Woods to get their boots. So kind of a double whammy about things that lead them to go to Skull Woods. First, just a decision, and secondly, just did not get the fire rod when they were right here.
Super Bunny having our other bow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, Quake needed to open TR.
And if you're unfamiliar or haven't heard about A Link to the Past Randomizer League, this is week 1. So both teams are going to send 2 runners. So the 2 players on your left are in a voice chat with each other. The 2 players on the right are in a voice chat, sharing information. And Guy Average just said, I found the ice rod. And both teams play twice this week. Buttersword Knights picked up game 1 a few days ago. They got the W against the Longshots. Longshots looking for redemption here. And I saw we got a Quake medallion, which
yep, we have. That's needed for TR. Yeah, we have everything for TR except for the hammer, and Simp did not have enough money to pay off Kiki.
Oh, no. Oh, is he going to go all the way?
Oh, we can finish Eastern. But yeah, he's probably going to go there.
I did forget that we have not beaten Eastern yet. Yeah, this is fine. Get the 90 rupees in the back. So we know on Longshot's side that Bizarre and Turtle Rock are 2 of our pendants. So we need to get, what is it, the Ether medallion? That could be in GT or literally anywhere in the game except in Misery Mire at this point. Let's pay close attention to Timp as he turns right and gets his 90 rupees in the back. Or 50 is fine.
Anything that puts him over, put him at least 110.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably just asked Doc if he could spare some. He's got plenty of money on his side. Okay, Red Cane finally gotten for the Buttersword Knights. Still without the boots, though. Now we're approaching at least 20 minutes.
Almost 50 minutes. We still have not seen a hammer, although that is pretty much GT mode at that point.
Yeah, when the hammer shows up on the long shot side, that is GT mode for them. I don't know if they know where the hook shot is, to be honest, as we see Doc turning south and is now going to see where that hook shot is. And he's saying, how do I get that? And I think he's going to go up and use the portal here and take the long way around from the castle, from the pyramid, I mean. Yeah, clearly they did not know that was there until 15 seconds ago, based on that routing. And is he gonna try and go through the hammer bridge? Nope, he's remembering you got to go all the way around. Oh, they didn't even do fake flipper of hobo, hoping to avoid Aga, which is, I think, objectively that's just the right call anyway, because it's all dungeons. Temp has finally procured enough rupees to get admittance into the Palace of Darkness.
All right, Guyver's into Swamp, which of course we have Specky Clip now, so even if the hammer's here, or even the hammer's not here, we can still beat this.
Yeah, it's the hot new talk of the town. Just need a bomb and a hook shot in order to get past this second chest. Some call it first chest of Swamp. Although hammer could just be here.
Okay, it's not.
So Buttersword Knights need, they know they need the boots for desert. They know they need the fire rod because it's all dungeons and it's one of their crystals getting the GT. So I would expect they're going to full clear Swamp. Having the hammer or not just makes the most sense, I would think. Long shots, I think they only need hammer, as we talked about, to get to GT. So they're probably not gonna be looking for the hammer inside of Swamp Palace. So I would think that they would skip left side Swamp when they eventually go there. And Dylan Lee getting his second dungeon. Doc says, I already got 3 keys. I don't need that free key there. Let's see if he beats Mothula first or if he's going to hope the second item's in the bridge chest.
Here comes Tim's fire rod.
I average with a really nice diver down there. What's in Swamp Palace Waterfall Room? We get the bug net.
Oh, all right. There is at least something on left side Swamp.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I don't think there's a way the Buttersword Knights can get away with skipping that, especially without the hammer. Swamp is so hard to even get to. They don't have boots. It's just such a chore to come back to. I think the first runner here needs to do it in their position with like 3 outstanding items. I mean, they can't even get into Ice Palace, which is definitely an option for the long shots. We have Flipper, and we have a fire source now.
It's starting to seem like the most likely spot for hammer at this point. Because it's not Skull Woods.
Yeah, Skull Woods only had 1 good today, not 2. I would think one of the long shots is going to go up the mountain before they dip Ice Palace.
Here's Ped. We know it's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an odd check. Especially sometimes it's hard to think about it in the moment when you're doing a bunch of things like talking to your teammate. I don't know what else is left besides Ice Palace. To be honest, we've done everything that we can. So something in Ice Palace is the hammer or leads to it in my mind. But of course, sometimes I forget some random overworld things that no one's checked.
Oh, I know we can't do Spy Cave because you need the hammer for that.
Right.
I don't think anyone's checked Ether Tablet.
Right. Dr. Earworm has already been up to Hera and beat Hera, so not a lot of incentive to go back up there until he finds absolutely nothing here on the mountain. Pyramid Fairy cannot have the hammer, but it very well could have one of our medallions. What was the Eternal Rock medallion? I don't see it.
Quake.
Quake. Oh, okay. And then one person did get that. Guy Average did get that, and the Buttersword Knights are the ones who have been up to Dark Death Mountain and know that they need that. I don't remember where that quake was.
Oh, I think he's setting up a Death Warp for some reason. I guess he wanted more health back.
Shinmaru reminding me that Quake was in Hookshot Cave. So I said absolutely nothing, and I meant there was one small, tiny little thing in the entirety of the Death Mountain.
Well, the Ice Rod was there too.
That is true.
But yeah, outside of Hookshot Cave, it was just junk.
Okay, Buttersword Knights finally gonna go with the bow into Palace of Darkness and gonna get Fire Red. I'm sorry, Dylan has already been there and got Fire Red. Looks like he skipped out on the boots though. Just doing this front to back, or sorry, back to front.
Yeah, because I'm actually out to get silvers here.
That's always nice to have right before you go, even have the ability to get into Vitreous and Mizir Mire.
All right, there's Timp gonna go now.
I think he's definitely going to get that hook shot. I think he's forgotten how to go there because now he is swimming and you cannot.
Yeah.
This is kind of an unusual thing. You usually have the hammer and you just go and use the portal by Link's house. He's going to have to swim all the way back. Does not come up very often, to be honest. And Doc is paused, so he's either telling him how to do it or saying, "Where haven't we been?" And the answer, I think, is Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's going to check the Ether Tablet real quick, which I believe you said was a new check.
Wasn't it? We saw it on.
Oh, okay.
Other side, it wasn't anything.
And here goes Guy Average into Ice Palace, first of our runners into where we believe the hammer is going to be. followed closely by Dr. Earworm, I say, and then realize he's going to go check the waterfall, which I think is...
Oh, yeah, that's another thing we haven't checked.
It is new for them.
Yeah, we went over here earlier, and I don't think we had Moon Pearl. Oh, it's a shield and money.
Oh, it looks like they're both converging on Ice Palace now, which, as we thought, this is their last location.
Mm-hmm.
And quietly, Buttersword Knights are also into Hammer is GT mode. So I don't know how much they're going to be checking, but since you're looking for a couple medallions, I think or at least one medallion, I think you check these anyway, even though that chest is locked by the hammer.
Yeah, it couldn't be Hammer, it's just bombs. And we do have to skip this.
Yeah, this could be the hammer right here, and then I think you'd have to walk right back upstairs and check that, but can't get to that chest in H room without the hammer. That's just money. So
we've seen two items now. Yeah.
So is this just going to be like Ether letting us into Misery Mire?
Potentially, or the Shovel Knight show up too. How does not have the cane? Oh, there's our hammer. He's going the long way.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an oopsie. I think he should have gotten the cane really at any point when he was in Village of Outcasts. But we did see the hammer there in Freezor chest.
Yeah, that's all 3 items, so we don't have to go back.
That is the good news, that you don't have to go back. And now Dr. Earworm can definitely take that counter of Seeds Without a Meme down to 0. We had Mirror on Pyramid, we had Moon Pearl in Checkerboard, and we had Hammer in Swamp. Excuse me, Hammer here in Ice Palace, the other Flipper's dungeon. And as we see all 4 runners in Ice Palace, suddenly it's become a little bit closer, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Dylan did find those boots in Skullwoods as well. Doc going and opening. Doc opening up this. Oh, they don't know where the hammer is, so
yeah, I say he's going this way.
Yeah, Doc opened up the one chest that wasn't hammer locked. The Seed was at least kind enough to give us the small key in... No, Doc, beat the dungeon. Beat the dungeon. Why are you... the Seed was kind enough to give us a small key in the first chest of Ice Palace here, so we didn't have to maybe mirror out and do the bomb jump in order to get a key. They should know that they've gotten all 3 items out of Ice Palace, but it looks like they have lost count. And now he's going back to the bar.
Buttersword Knights is the name of the team on the right side, Donley and Kai Average. Just like how the Long Shots is the name of the team name for Dr. Earworm and Temp.
Yeah, this is one of the weeks in the Link to Past Randomizer League. Looks like Guy Average not realizing that they got 3 items as well on Buttersword Knight's side. This is the league, and 3 out of the 4 weeks are co-op. So you get to be in a voice call with your teammate as we get Doc taken down Cold Stare, the first of our runners to do so. The other weeks are actually solo, what you're more used to seeing. You're going to see 1 runner versus 1 runner, but they'll still be representing their team. And there's 7 weeks, and eventually some of them make the playoffs. So stay tuned for the next, what is that, about 12, 13 weeks?
I know there's 7 modes for the regular season. I'm not sure if they've extended some of them because of SGL or what.
No, we're actually doing 1 week per mode for 7 weeks, and then there's a little bit of a time off for Speed Gaming Live, which happens in,
Okay, so that's how they're doing it.
Yeah, second weekend of November, I believe, and then
yeah, November 9th to the 12th, I think.
Yeah, and then playoffs start. But right now we gotta focus on this. By the way, Guy Average still on Master Sword. Did not run across Tempered or Gold yet, which we see on both. Or Temp does have Gold.
Yeah, once. I mean, Guy Average will get Tempered once beating Desert.
Yeah, that was a really nice fight, by the way, even despite being on Master Sword. Good use of the Fire Rod and that half magic.
Okay, Docksmack and Belgium Outcast. Sorry, looks like he's gonna go get that cane.
Yeah, he might have thought it was Sea House or something because he
or maybe Temp was saying he didn't remember exactly where it was, but it was somewhere in this area.
Right. I mean, it didn't really slow him down. He blazed through Ice Palace, which was, a little combination of his teammate getting 2 items on the right side and he getting the hammer on the left side. So he didn't have to full clear, but he still was the first of our runners out of Ice Palace, despite not being the first one in. So now he's got that cane, and they're, looking for that ether as well as saying that they're in GT mode. They don't want to leave ether somewhere behind and just assume it's like on the GT climb or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Guy Average finally picking up his boots. I think that's about 40 minutes. It was somewhere in the 26 to 36 range that the long shots found those boots. It was very quickly after getting Dark World access. It was a minimum of like 30 minutes and
a
maximum of 40. So you can see that both the long shots have 5 dungeons done, and Buttersword Knight's definitely in a little bit of a disadvantage here. They've only got 3 and 4 dungeons done. There's a little bit of math with which dungeons take longer than others. And of course, we have to find the GT Big Key and the Turtle Rock Big Key and Misery Mire and all that. So a lot of game left to play as we see long shots doing Left Side Swamp. Oh, never mind. We're not doing Left Side Swamp. Mothula down for Guy Average. Meanwhile, we're getting like synchronized left side swamps here from Dylan Lee and Tim.
Yeah.
So Dylan grabbed the Specky Key and then just did this the vanilla way without taking the time to get the key here first, which I kind of like. Maybe you mess up your diver down or something like that. Maybe it takes more time. So that's my preferred way, but I think everybody's really going to have their own way. It's kind of like Harapot. No 2 ways are the same, but they all do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we do get a map on Left Side Swamp, and not the compass. It's 10 arrows. And Guy Average is climbing Death Mountain. Is this just to get into Turtle Rock, get a little bit of an advantage there? I would think you would want to beat all your crystals before going into Turtle Rock.
Oh, Guy Average getting dead rocked.
That feels so bad. Yeah, you gotta, I mean, I fall victim to this too, but you gotta not fall victim to the urge to slash them because they will just get in your way.
Guy Average will be our first runner into Turtle Rock. The other three are all going to be in Swamp Palace at once.
Yeah, for the long shots, one goes in, one goes out. Thankfully for Dr. Earworm, Temp has already opened all the chests and told him which ones to get and which ones to skip, and I think they were pretty much all ones to skip. And same thing on Dylan. Guy Average had already been there. I think he had to do left side swamp, though. So Temp still has 2 dungeons to do before GT. So does Dr. Earworm. Buttersword Knights have a few more to go, but the good news is they can basically go mode them because I think all of them they've been into and they'll have all the items or keys laid out for them.
Wrong medallion game.
Yeah, there was that Bombos medallion showing up on Turtle Rock Roller Room.
Chat's saying it's a good idea. Maybe the best way would be send one runner into TR and the other into GT to try to figure out where that Ether medallion could be.
Right, but all of the 4 dungeons they have to do, like they've already been into all of them. There's no divergence that they could do. There's nothing they could skip because they have to just beat the bosses. They've basically gotten the items in all the items in all the other chests except the bosses of those 4 dungeons. So maybe thinking this is this is green pendant, and if it's there, you have to have the extra climb anyway. So this could be it's kind of a gamble because hey, if it's here, then we're not sinking a bunch of time into Ganon's Tower. Because for this it's go -1 for them. They only need the Ether medallion. So the fact that it's green pendant is makes the decision a little bit more understandable, I would say. I still personally would just not do this, but I'm not infallible. There are many decisions in every rando seed, which is part of the joy of playing this game, and it's even more fun with a friend, I'll say. Because remember, this is all dungeons, so we do have to beat Misery Mire, which it looks like it's going to be after GT, which is always a test of how well you remember. Have you beaten Aga? Do you have your mirror? All that kind of stuff. Because you get a free save and quit from the Dark World to the top of the pyramid, which is where Ganon is. But that's about 10 or 20 minutes away for these runners, so we'll see at that time who remembers that. And we're going to get our Mimic Cave check here. As we have both the long shots in pod, they're basically following each other.
And just 10 arrows. Alright, Temp's now got 6 crystals.
Yeah, he has to do Hera, which is probably still enough to put him ahead of Doc. I guess the question here is, because Turtle Rock is a pendant, do you send one runner to GT and one runner to Turtle Rock? And I think you just do Turtle Rock. You both do Turtle Rock. It's a long way to go left and right and then left again if you go into GT without doing Turtle Rock.
Swords in the sea. Okay, the 2 swords that Guy Average does not have are Landmill was in, I believe, King's Tomb.
Yeah, I don't know if they know about the King's Tomb one.
No one's got gold swords, so yeah.
That is true. Yeah. I mean, chat's saying, if he had done Landmill first, get the free sword. But then, if Green Pendant is the answer, you're not able to combine Desert Palace and Misery Mire. But I think I eat the extra flute to 7 or 6 in that scenario for having a tempered sword. Try next fight. Speaking of fights, Dr. Earworm takes down his 7th crystal. Helmasaur King is down. He's just got 2 more to go, and Ganon's Tower.
Hey, 2 heart containers on Laser Bridge.
Had Dylan not beaten Desert by the time Guy was going up the mountain? I thought maybe he did, but at least he knew about the King's Tomb sword. But half magic and hammer is not the worst. Try next fight. It's just a little bit slow.
Yeah.
And they do have to go fast. So both long shots on the mountain here, one in the dark world, one in the light world. Imp going up in the dark world. Oh, wait, he had to get some stuff out of Bookshop Cave, so that's fine.
All right, let's see. If Doc goes right for GT, there's a little thing we like to do, but let's see what he decides to do first.
And don't forget, by the way, we have some hammer checks in the overworld. Hammer pegs, Spike Cave, those could also be the answer. It doesn't have to be in Turtle Rock or Ganon's Tower.
Yeah. All right, Doc's going to go into TR first, so we'll hold off on the GT Big Key guessing game for now.
Yeah. I mean, he's at least opening the portal, which is correct.
Well, yeah. All right, he's going in. TR not the answer. Well, we do get we'll see if the green pendant is, but inside it's not.
I like the long shots skipping up left and right side here. You usually can't skip one of them, but every once in a while you can. And if you can tell your teammate, you'll save a little bit of time. And we get the big keys and the small key, one on the right, one on the left, which we knew if we'd been paying attention to Guy's stream. It looks like he's also going to do Spike Cave, so he's making the most out of this mountain trip, I will say that. And he's going to get his red crystal, which is, I would think, his second one, because Ice Palace is also another one. So he's going to make a lot of use out of this mountain trip by being able to do Pyramid Fairy after completing the mountain. It's a lot of errands for him, but if one of these pays off, I don't see the long shots going to any of those checks anytime soon. Really nice bread bowl Harapot there. And here's one of those overworld checks. I feel like Buttersword Knights are playing, I don't know if it's conservative, because they probably feel like they got boots super late. So they're saying if it's in GT, that's bad for us. Let's check everything that's not in GT.
Yeah, all right, not hammer pegs.
And by the way, I think that's, the right decision. If they've made the right call on where they are in the seed, they're absolutely correct.
Yeah, this is looking like it's gonna. Earl Dillon got dead rocked, unfortunately.
Yeah, but Tim took a death there in Poke Room, which will kind of work out because now Dr. Earworm has gone through this lava chest and Tim doesn't need to go check it and got the key, didn't spend the key, so he can kind of avoid one of the keys later in the dungeon. Maybe there's a key in Big Chest or something like that he can skip out on and go the faster way.
I think Laser Bridge had a key. I'm not 100% sure.
Right, so if there's one in like Crystal Roller Room, then Tim could skip that Laser Bridge one. And Spike Cave not paying off either. That was just some bombs.
Okay, Doc doing the open the big chest first in case it's got your go mode, and then do Mimic Cave. We're getting a Pyramid Fairy check from Guy Average. Let's see if that's our answer.
Yeah, everything else on the other three screens we've already seen, so we can absolutely just be focused on Guy Average here. Temp getting trapped in there. Still found his way out, thankfully. Wait, how did Temp get ahead? I guess because he skipped the big chest in Mimic Cave, so he got farther ahead of his teammate there based on his teammate's information.
Not Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, one last Hail Mary for the Buttersword Knights, I would have to think. And what is he doing? He's not moving. I hope that's not a mere bonk. Oh, it is not. Great. Okay, he's got to be going to pods from the green pen at this point. So we'll be glued to that screen. Maybe Tip did use that key because he does not have one. It's going to have to get this Laser Bridge one.
Yeah, and he does take the safety door. I'm going to try to get these heart containers. Don't think either one was Sank Heart, though. Kyber seems to be having a think.
Yeah, did we get him in front of the green pendant yet? I don't think we did.
Oh, I missed it. Must not have been anything.
But he's
he's going to 6. Oh, to do desert.
Yeah, the Hail Mary did not pay off.
Just notice for our co-op seed, 2 of our runners have 14 hearts.
Yeah, and Buttersword. How often do you get that in a co-op?
Yeah.
Oh, this sword is minimally out of your way? You're never getting it. Nope, all the swords were just on the path today, it seems.
Yeah. Alright, so that, I think, Doc's going to be heading into GT, so go ahead and put your numbers in chat where you think the GT big key is going to be.
Yeah, did we do combined checks or just his side? Because he's going to be skipping some stuff, maybe, even though Timp is going to take a small detour and do Hera first.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll go by Doc's numbers.
So Dylan Lee opening
right
up
behind them, too.
Yeah, they're pretty much neck and neck, and they're both going to be full clearing GT, or solo clearing, I will say. But I think Timp has a little bit of an advantage over Guy right now. Pod is like not a fast dungeon. You think it's very fast, but there's just a lot of time you spend actually getting to the boss.
Yeah. I mean, both of them going right to start out. There's a key in Hope Room, so we're going to continue.
I thought Dylan might be doing Tile Room. Looks like he's thought otherwise.
So I'm having issues with this Hera pot. There's Ether. 1 hour, 26 minutes, 40 seconds. Long shots are in go mode.
So was that the big key guessing game for the big key or for the Ether medallion?
It was, well, we're doing the big key guessing game, but that was number 4 for the Ether medallion. Nice burn on the torch. I'm still having issues with this Hera pot. There we go. Oh, he got stuck. He's going to have to save and quit.
Can he mirror?
Nope, you can't mirror. You have to save and quit.
Okay, that makes things a little bit more interesting. I think Timp should look up the bread bowl strat on his way up the mountain the second time, because it's pretty free. Thankfully, you can save and quit. It's not a hard lock. It's, you know, a soft lock.
He's going to lose that. All right, now he should still have the portal there.
Not with the save and quit. It just
wait, the save and quit kills the portal. Forgot. All right, big key is Bob's torch. That is that's going to be number
Bob's
something 18, because Dylan actually went full right.
Ah, I did miss that. Okay, there. Dylan's actually ahead now. Going to be the first runner to finish probably. So it's going to be an interesting race, especially with that Hera pot happening there with Timp.
And we got a shovel, because why not?
I hope these runners remember they have to do Mire after that. That's why we had to find Ether.
$16 hearts. Get another bottle in Rando Room. All right, there we go.
Dylan getting these.
Oh, what? Vic's pointing out in chat, Dylan does not have a key.
Oh no, because he went full right.
Yeah.
And there was no key in Compass Room.
I've not been counting keys. But Doc's found, he's got 2 right now, so that means he would have found 3 keys. So there's 1 key outstanding.
I think Bob's is behind 3, so you know there could definitely be one in the Ice Armor Room or the big chest. Temp got dead rocked too. I think all 4 of our runners have gotten dead rocked at one point or another this seed, so it's pretty much even now.
Yeah, so there's 1 key left. It's either tile room, big chest, or upstairs.
Yeah, it also feels bad because he never went left, and there's just the free one sitting under that pot. So, Dylan's fairly new within the last year to this, and co-op is hard. It's hard to talk and play at the same time. Just maybe not remembering the thing you're supposed to do when you're climbing GT. Look to make sure you have 1 key. I'll admit I forget that sometimes as well.
Wizards are giving him a little trouble. There we go.
First time I saw it. But Doc is not far behind on this climb. I guess he's behind Landmo 2 still. Nice fairy drop with to fill up your 15 hearts.
Yeah, 60% chance that this last small key is upstairs.
Yeah, we're going to be paying very close attention here in the next 30 seconds to Dylan's stream.
Oh, it's not in either of the many helmet chests.
There is 1 more chest it could be. Looks like he has realized that, though.
Oh, it's not up here.
Wow, that feels really bad. I don't think it's enough to cost them, but...
Just going to leave and go to TR now.
Bad. Oh, he hadn't done TR first. Interesting.
Probably wanted to get that and seek out that information.
Tim, with the knowledge of where the big key is going full right as well. Much to his teammate Tyler Salt's chagrin, who goes full right. Not getting the free key there, Tim. I guess he'll have to make sure he grabs the key from the free side on the left. Or at least, hopefully, his teammate reminds him to do that. I don't think this is faster. I've asked a few people, and the NMG route is you go left. So I would think that the NMG route is the fastest possible.
Yeah,
hyper optimized. If there was like a sword or silvers in Compass Room, I could see choosing this route.
Well, it had ether, so we had to go to Compass Room.
Right,
yeah.
Of course, it did have ether. It was the fastest way.
All right, Tim, please grab a key. Uh-oh, he's climbing.
Oh, no. No. You hate to see it. Both teams doing it, though. Oh, remembering.
And Guy Average getting dead rocked. Well, the dead rocks have not been kind to any of our runners today. Oh, good, he remembered.
Yeah. I'm sure Dr. Earworm was saying, "Do you have a small key?"
He's gonna go to Stalfos room to get it.
Yeah, there's just a free one in the room with the hammer. As a person who's run this mode twice this week, it is very stressful. So,
yeah, you're hearing your teammates shouting things at you, and while you're trying to keep things straight and try and remember where things are.
Yeah. At this point, they're not really giving any information, but you still have those headphones on and you're hearing them maybe hitting their buttons or struggling with their boss fight or whatever. So you're definitely stressed. It's a very stressful environment, which is, when you come out at the end of it, it's very much rewarding.
So he got the pot key in that room there, and then abandoned the one after Compass Room.
He could have gotten did he get the pot key? Because he got the key in Hope Room, and there's 2 keys. Oh, he didn't get the free one on the right side. That's what he did.
Yeah, after Compass Room.
Okay, well, we apologize to Tim for telling him, oh no, Doc forgot that he needs the big key.
And he's mirroring.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I mean, as a reminder, you do not want a mirror to go back to the start, because then you have to go through this room again. I think we may be having a team meeting here.
Yeah. All teams should have team meetings. This one's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, both sides.
Yeah, I don't want to focus too much on myself, but I mirrored out of my Helma fight, and this week, and had some other oopsies. So it definitely happens to at least 5 of us, the 4 on Restream and myself. I won't really speak for anyone else. Oh, nice kill there. Lambo 2 by Temp. And did we get the big key? Oh, he just YOLO'd it. He wasn't even opening up any chests. I mean, if you play enough Key Sanity and you go mode a dungeon, then yeah, you just run to the big door. But Guy Average has that bridge. Oh no, he's mirroring out. I think if you just walk out and walk back in, that room resets. The bridge will reset. But gonna go full left. It looks like he didn't get the key either. Or no, he must have not gotten this free key and then used the 2 keys on the right to go through those 2. So he's gonna have to make sure he gets another key along his way, because now he's spent the 2 on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
He must have a bottle. Probably doesn't have a bottle, to be honest. I would say the long shots are pretty much in a lead here, but anything could happen, as we've seen. So stay tuned, folks, because it's going to be a wild ride through the finish. Doc did get his big key somewhere in Misery Mire and has silvers. And Moldorm not being nice to Temp, taking a fall. I will say, if you're ever on 1 heart in that Moldorm fight, don't just stick through it. Use a safety, because you could fall onto a spike. And that always does 1 heart of damage. So
yeah.
He was very much not in that situation. I just wanted to throw that out there for anybody new to Rando. Of our tracker, Shasta asking about Blue Cane. Blue Cane was on the torch here in GT. I don't think anyone got it, but I like to use torch or the Blue Cane in that crumbling bridge room on the right side of GT. And Silver Arrow is showing their true power here against Witchwoods. Now I'm sure Dr. Earworm will remember that he has beaten Aga. He's in the Dark World. He has the mirror. Mm-hmm. He can just save and quit to the top of the pyramid.
So yeah, a guy is going to have to either... I forgot Ice almost could have that last key as well.
Yeah, and the big chest. And there's that save and quit. The very rarely seen big chest being opened. Usually only in sword mode, or maybe if that had our ether today.
Or in like cross keys or sometimes 80 keys.
Yeah. All right, we got at least 6 hits on phase 2, I think.
I think so too.
It was a little, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Guy Average is looking for another key. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Ice House. Don't mirror, don't mirror.
Oh, no, big chest.
Okay, well, as long as it's...
Did he not? I thought I saw him go into DM room. So yeah, it's tile room or the big chest. I swear he was in DM room getting those keys in order to go farther left.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Although if he didn't open up map room...
Oh, okay.
Key. Oh, it wasn't there.
Okay, that's fine. Actually, I think it's top left that had the small key. Alright, get your GGs in chat for Dr. Ear. I'm going to be the first one to finish.
Yeah, lost in all that. Dr. Earworm coming in first place. Now he just needs his teammate to finish second or third, or have their average time be less than the Buttersword's average time. And looks like Timp is well on his way to finishing second.
Ooh, that's... Okay, well, Average should have a fairy. Your uncle deals drugs.
He did have the mushroom.
Yeah. Oh, a dig spot had our last bottle with a bee in it.
Oh yeah, we only found a couple of those. Can't wait to see what was on pedestal today. I guess Doc checked that.
They both checked it. It was something useless. Couch cash, yeah.
Really nice of all those enemies in Gauntlet 1 to be in the nice prize pack, dropping a fairy and full magic. So we're coming up on Doc's collection rate at this end of the screen. I gotta think it's gonna be pretty high in this seed with last location, and he was one doing most of the clearing, especially in GT. Might even be as high as like 140, which is pretty high for a co-op seed. All right, Dylan has beaten Agatower. Quick mirror and gonna have to go to Misery Mire. And that is where Timp already is. He's got 26 silver arrows in his quiver. Gonna use at least 11 of them, which will leave quite a few for Ganon. Really nice Misery Mire Vitreous there. Okay, and dropping into GT, or excuse me, Ganon. Not Ganon's Tower, Ganon's Pyramid. Got that gold sword, going to get a free 1-in-1 here, I hope. Yeah, there's 5 slashes, and the first one before that. That was only 3, Timp. You got to wait till after he stops moving his head around. So he did get 6 in.
Oh, we got Angry Moldorm. Okay. Whew.
Got through it. Nice job.
Yeah, poke with Tempered Sword will do Master Sword damage, which does Fighter Sword damage to Moldorm. Because reasons. Simp has finished off Ganon. All he needs to do is just cross the bridge, and then it'll be GG for the long shots.
Congrats to them on their first win of the season. Getting a little bit of revenge on the Buttersword Knights. In this rematch, I believe all 4 of these runners played earlier this week. And there is a forfeit from Dylan. And I think Guy is
they both
as
dropped
well.
a forfeit. And we are joined by all 4 of our racers. GG, everyone.
Welcome.
GG's.
GG.
GG.
So I believe it was Dr. Earworm, who we can't see it on the restream, but on your personal stream, you do have a counter for how many meme seeds you've had, and I think you're gonna have to reset that to 0 after the 3 or 4 items we got.
So it's the opposite actually, and this is why it's just permanently set to 69 because it got too hard to keep track of. But it's actually the number of seeds since the last time I had a seed with no memes, which just never happens. There were plenty of memes in this one.
Every seed's got a meme, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had everyone in Agate Tower basically the same time. I think Doc was a little bit ahead of everybody, and finding that Moon Pearl was kind of a joke, and of course Hammer there. The main difference I think in this seed was that the long shots were early to their boots by about 35 minutes before Buttersword Knights found theirs. Discuss your Skullwoods routing philosophies.
Well, so I think it's the opposite of what happened in game 1, right? In game 1, we abandoned the flippers, which you needed for Ether on Left Side Swamp, which you needed for the boots in Mire.
Yeah,
and we were super late to that.
We checked the front, but we neglected to go into the middle, and that's where they were.
Right. So this game, I when I was in the Glitch Mentor tournament, Malmo was my mentor for most of my mentored races, and she sold me on the strategy of one and done in Skullwoods, which is if you don't have the fire rod, the first time you go through that Village of Outcast portal, you just check the first chest in Skullwoods, and if it's an item, you leave. So I basically always do that, and this time it was the best item. And it was fortunate that Timp was close enough that I was able to just, call him in to come grab him.
Run up there and get it, or walk up there and get it, and then run back.
That's a good strategy. One and done. You can spend a lot of time looking for keys. And then, of course, Buttersword Knights, you went to pod without the bow and weren't able to get the fire rod on your first trip, whereas the long shots did get that as well, which, took them back to Skullwoods, and you were late to that.
Right. I didn't even think. Yeah, if you're waiting for a fire rod, you just never go there. That's tough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, makes sense. I know a lot of people are just like, nope, I'm not touching Skullwoods until I can go straight to the back. And I don't think that's I don't think there's anything wrong with that. strategy. It's just when it works out, you save a bunch of time, and when it doesn't, you last locate.
Yeah. I with the whole pod thing, I completely like forgot to check hype. I don't know why, but I did Smith stuff because by then at that point in the seed, I was already like, okay, this seed is a total meme. I'm just gonna check like all the meme locations first. And by doing Smiths, I like forgot that we also like never checked hype or dig game or any of that. And
Right.
all of those locations had really good items, so it kind of like it from that point on, it really like kind of threw me off. And for the rest of the seed, I was just not thinking straight. I wasn't playing properly because I was a little tilted, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair. We had our fair share of those too. Ask me about the Cane of Samaria, Temp.
So yeah, apparently there's two Canes in the game, and they both have these like BS made up names. And so I got one Cane, and I accidentally said the other, again, completely made up name of the other Cane, and that I guess caused some problems for us. But
I was
it's all
like,
good.
he was like, ooh, Cane of Berna on dig game. And I was like, okay, cool, nice.
Apparently
nice
he said good
safety.
safety. I didn't hear that, or else I would have.
And then I just forgot about it. So that's why I did Ice Palace with no Cane of Samaria.
Dang. Oh, okay. We were a little bit curious about that.
Yeah,
and because he was like, man, it sucks that I'm having to do ice without Samaria. And I was like, what are you talking about? I have it. What, you don't have it? And he was like, what? No. And then so we had to figure that out, and we were both pretty panicked. And I would say in general, I mean, hearing what happened with the boots now makes perfect sense. But for a lot of our play, and I don't want to speak for Doc, but judging from like our conversations together, we both, I think, kind of felt like we were maybe playing from behind a little bit. A lot of like just small issues in little communication things. I had a lot of like tricks and glitches that got dropped, just like lack of focus, things like that. And Doc is a tremendous ALTTPR player, but was the comments I was hearing from him were that he wasn't really playing up to his own standards. So we were quite surprised to see the win. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just boots or whatever. Everyone had a little bit of missteps, as I think everyone does in this mode. Co-op,
Sure.
Yeah,
hard.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's hard to try to hold information about two different games in mind. It's not quite like having to hold two seeds in mind at the same time, but like I don't have a tracker up for my teammates, so when we're talking about like what should I do next, what should you do next, like there are a lot of moments where I was focused more on that than I was on what was happening in the game, and I, for example, died in the Eastern Big Key chest and rushed the back of Desert with no big key and rushed the back of Mire with no big key, and yeah. But
as always, all you can do is just keep tentatively, loosely, not actually on the books yet. I think I'm going to be going on Wednesday at 8. It's not 100% confirmed, but that's what we've talked about.